Good evening, everybody. It is about 8:30 on January 11th, 2020, and um, a couple videos ago I posted a question suggesting concerns I may have with my diet, my dietary needs, because lately I've been just kind of eating all meat, and so I said, you know what, let me do the research and share it with you guys and really try to get a better idea, what's going on. And so the question really is, and I did a bunch of different research. I looked all over the web. I read dozens of blogs and articles, and I found most helpful for me was definitions that I specifically found on Wikipedia and a little bit on WebMD. Now, I would say that 90% of what I saw online, I really think that most of the articles, it's almost cut and paste from that, and there may be more information out there, and maybe there's some better medical journals or something somebody could suggest I need to look into. I'll do more research on that. That's fine, but that's where I started, and I feel pretty good about it all. I do. Anyhow, so the question is, what specific nutrients are needed for joint health and flexibility are missing from an all meat diet? Okay, and I don't think I worded it perfectly when I asked the question. I was like in mid hike or whatever, but that's pretty close to exactly what I asked for. And so what I did though is I just kind of broke down the question and tried to find some good solid definitions. That way everybody can be on the same page and try to get to the complete answer by the end. You have to bear with me. My public reading skills aren't amazing, but I'm gonna try. All right. So let's start with defining the parts of the question. All right. What are micronutrients? Okay. Wikipedia defines micronutrients as micronutrients are essential elements required by organisms in varying quantities throughout life to orchestrate the range of physical functions to maintain health. Micronutrient requirements differ between organisms. For example, humans and other animals require numerous vitamins and dietary minerals, whereas plants require specific minerals. For humans' nutrition, micronutrients requirements and for human nutrition, micronutrient requirements are in amounts generally less than 100 milligrams per day, whereas micronutrients are required in gram quantities daily. I read a ton of articles, and in summary, just on that one specific definition, it was most easily described to me as that micronutrients are really the like the essential building blocks for life. Okay, like you can put all kinds of stuff in your body, right? But it's like they're really the glue or the chemicals that make the reactions in your body move forward. If that makes sense. All right. So, what are those trace minerals and micronutrients? What are they? This is a quick list. Just going to run them off just to kind of get a general knowledge for everybody here. Trace minerals would be like barium, cobalt, chromium, copper, iodine, iron, magnesium, molybdenum. I think I said that right. Selenium and zinc. Vitamins. You got vitamin B complex, which is vitamin B, thiamine, vitamin A, vitamin C. Under the vitamin, I'm sorry, I should have started with the vitamin B. Yeah, vitamin B complex. You got vitamin B 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have all kinds of names from riboflavin to niacin to um, biotin and folate, and every one of them has a different little effect on your body. And we would be here forever trying to define what every single one of those vitamins are. But you still got your vitamin C, um, vitamin D, vitamin E, K. K comes in 1 and 2. And then carotenoids, you got alpha carotene, beta carotene, critotaxanthin, I think, lutein, lipin, zeaxanthin. I don't know. But your body needs like all of these things, and a lot of them are found in, various multivitamins and stuff over the counter. And then some things you eat already have them in them. But it's not often. I mean, I guess that's what some people call like superfoods, are the ones that have like all kinds of concentrations of certain specific vitamins. You know, I don't think you could eat enough food in a day in just a variety diet to know that you always get all of everything you ever need all the time. Like, it's just a massive quantity of food. But they do say the variety is the best. And then, of course, a lot of people suggest going with the supplements. I say take them sparingly because I don't believe that all supplements are as perfectly well suited for your body as they're cracked up to be, and I'm not really sure that your liver or your kidneys and all your body just doesn't absorb all of it all the time continuously. Like, there's no way in 1 minute, 2 minutes, you're gonna eat a handful of multivitamins, and then you're gonna drink a little bit of water, and you're just good to go all day long. I don't think your body can process it that fast, and I think you end up just throwing most of it away. That'd be something else to look into. But, anyways, a variety of diet can certainly help cover all these things, especially when it comes to like fruits and vegetables. They seem to have the highest quantities from what I've read. All right. So let's move on though. We have a general idea of what micronutrients are. All right. All right. Then the next part of the question is, after what the micronutrients are your joint health, right? Because the question is, what specific nutrients, we've discussed what nutrients are needed for joint health and flexibility. All right, so joint health and flexibility. All right, so Wikipedia again has a nice little definition of a joint, right? And a joint or articulation is the connection made between bones and body which link the skeletal system into a functional whole. They're constructed to allow different degrees and types of movement. Some joints, such as knees, elbows, shoulders, are self-lubricating, almost frictionless, and are able to withstand compression, maintain heavy loads, while still executing smooth, precise movements. Other joints, such as sutures between the bones and the skull, I never heard it used like that, permit very little movement only during birth. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, or it looks like sutures, but anyways, only during birth in order to protect the brain and sense organs. A connection between a tooth and the jawbone, also called joints. It's described by a fibrous joint known as the gomphosis. Joints are classified both structurally and functionally. All right, so it's the pieces that move. That's your joints. That's the simplest version of it. Inside of those joints, there's like ligaments, and there's fluid, specifically it says there, and then there's cartilage too, I believe. Like in between the vertebrae in your spine, there's little pieces of cartilage in there, and all those micronutrients, not all, but some in part, help to keep life in those joints. Okay, but when they start breaking down, they start having issues. The most broadest description of problems between the joints is like arthritis, right? So let me read a little bit about arthritis too, just so we all stay nice and clean on the same page. Arthritis is a term used to mean a disorder that affects joints. Symptoms generally include joint pain, stiffness, other systems, or redness, warmth, swelling. Decreased range of motion is the biggest thing of the affected joints. In some types of arthritis, other organs are also affected. Onset can be gradual or sudden. So, what it really comes down to then is if you don't have the right, in part, if you don't have the right micronutrients, you can have a deterioration of your joints, or your joints may deteriorate faster. You know what I mean? Like I think it's vitamin D and vitamin C, and there's a list of them I have here at the bottom of this. Um, all of those little tiny parts keep the joints healthy, right? And if they don't break down, you get arthritis. So, well, what's the problem with that arthritis is it limits the range of your motion, right? So that's really your flexibility, okay? So what is the specific nutrients are needed for joint health and flexibility? Well, we've discussed what micronutrients are. We've discussed what joint and joint health could be. Lack of joint health obviously is going to be arthritis. And then flexibility. Flexibility is the inability to move those joints. That's pretty simple. All right. Now, so some of those micronutrients, all combined with exercise and a few other things, allow you to maintain this joint health and all that. All right. So I'm scrolling because I don't want to speak improperly. So the limited range of motion, right? That's referring to the joint that has a reduction in its ability to move. The reduced motion may be a mechanical problem with specific joint or may be caused by injury, disease such as osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, other types of arthritis, pain, swelling, stiffness associated with arthritis can limited motion, limit the range of motion of a particular joint and impair function and ability to perform usual daily activities. I personally have had a lot of issues there. Now, how do we prevent that from happening? What do we do? Okay. Now, I'm eating mostly an all-meat diet right now, and I seem to think that that's helping quite a bit. There may be other factors. What's an all-meat diet? Well, according to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, all meats obtained from animals, regardless of cut or age, are red meats because they contain more myoglobin than fish and white meat, but not necessarily dark meat from chicken. Okay, so under the culinary definition, meat from adult gamey animals, examples: beef, horse, mutton, venison, boar, hare, is red meat, while other young animals, rabbit, veal, lamb, is white. Most poultry is white meat, but duck and goose are red. Most cuts of pork are red, and other are white. Some game is sometimes put in a separate category altogether. Dark meats. Some meats, pork and lambs, are classified different. Some cuts of pork considered white under culinary definitions. But all pork is red in nutritional studies. All right. Now, the nutritional facts that come with meat, more red meat, but it's red and white. But meat in general. Red meat contains large amounts of iron, creatine, zinc, phosphorus, tons of beta vitamins, thiamine, riboflavin. Red meat is also a source of lipic acid. Red meat contains small amounts of vitamin D. The liver contains a much higher quantities than other parts of the animal. Um, so, in 2011, the USDA launched My Plate, which did not distinguish between kids, the kinds of meat, but recommended eating at least 8 ounces of fish each week. In 2011, Harvard School of Public Health launched a healthy eating plate, in part because of the perceived inadequacies of the USDA recommendations. A healthy eating plate encourages consumers to avoid processed meat and limited red meat consumption to twice a week because of the links of possible heart disease, colon cancer. Replace these meats recommends consuming fish, poultry, bean, or nuts. So for me personally, I'd say I'd probably eat red meat 3 times a week at least. I do like a little bit of rotation. It's like, but it's still meat. So today I had steak. Yesterday I had hamburger meat, which would also be a red meat. The day before that I had chicken, and then the day before that I think I had hamburger meat, and then the day before that it was more chicken. You know what I mean? So I constantly fluctuate. In fact, I don't have a lot of fish in my diet. I probably need to go down that road. You just find something that I like. It's not gonna hurt me. So in short, though, reading all of this information plus a dozen other articles, we have a lot of the B vitamins and a lot of the essential nutrients because the meat itself is what we're building. It's what we need. We're made of meat, right? But the biggest thing, most common factor was almost every article says you can't have too much vitamin C, vitamin D, calcium, and water. That's the basics right there. Vitamin C, it helps out with like a plethora of things, cancer fighting things, common cold, immune deficiency. But I was surprised how much of it talked about the building of cells in a body and specifically rejuvenation and muscle growth and tissue growth. That it is, I believe it's some amino acids or something like that, but it really is like the glue that helps your body form like newer molecules, something like that. It was a lot of information to read, but vitamin C, I thought it was just helps with the cold and getting sick and that sort of thing. I didn't realize how much other stuff your body really uses for. So I highly recommend vitamin C. You can get that from all kinds of fruits and vegetables, and also dietary supplements, whatever works best for you. But I don't think we can have too much of that. Again, your body, if you eat too much vitamins, if you get too much vitamins, you're gonna feel maybe a little discomfort, sick to your stomach. But I'm pretty sure your body just throws them away. It's not like they have a negative effect. Vitamin D also, we're talking about joints, we're talking about bones. Vitamin D is essential for bone growth, so you can't really go wrong there. Again, if you have too much vitamin D, I think your body pretty much just throws it all away. It's not that big a deal. Calcium, more bones. Can't go wrong with having stronger, denser bones. All right? And then water. Your body is 90-some% made up of water. So you cannot go wrong by drinking more water. Period. The only issue I could see that you having with water is if you drink such an extreme amount every single day after day, you will constantly flush your body and your system of these essential minerals and vitamins and micronutrients that you're trying to ingest. You know what I mean? If you just continually wash your body out, then you're probably not going to retain as much as you'd want. But I think that'd be a very extreme situation. All right. So the biggest things with that flexibility and all that, though, is it really comes down to making sure you got the right balanced vitamins, and staying moving. It's huge, huge. I mean, it directly affects swelling in the joints and stiffness when you're inactive. And it says like suggests like, so if you spend all day at a cubicle and you're typing away, whatever, not even to sit in the same position for more than about 10-15 minutes. Tons of articles. Just move. Figure out a new way to sit. Stand up. Sit down. Walk around a little bit. Just don't stay locked down. And I think that kills me personally the most, because you'd be surprised. I mean, I know I do 10 hours a week at least just driving my truck. Just driving to and from work, from jobs. You move a little, but you don't move a lot. 50% of my days, typically at least, is in some sort of piece of equipment. I just have a lot of time and experience, and I learn and I know how to do a large variety of equipment very well. So I'm that guy. But just don't be sedentary. That is the most important part. There's a couple of things that you can do also, in addition to drinking that water, is turmeric. Personally, tried turmeric out and had great results, because it just reduces the inflammation and helps with the joints. I think you can get away with a little bit of like some Tylenol or what is it, ibuprofen, they say is pretty good. You know what I mean, for arthritis, like Bayer or something. It's like all over the place. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not even close. I just got practice. And every single person has got a million reasons why one thing will work for them but won't work for somebody else. So if you really have a problem, anything whatsoever, you're never wrong to go talk to your doctor about it. Never. I've talked to mine, and they prescribed a few medications to help in emergency situations. But basically, the only solution I got is I have to just keep taking care of my body. I have to take better care of my body. Stay active and eat good. And the Almi diet is pretty lean, and so for me, who wants to shed some weight, it's not too bad. But I need to make sure that I'm getting these other essential vitamins. And so I probably still am not going to start eating a bunch of fruit and stuff, because I think the sugar, and even though there's fiber and stuff that goes with it, I think it really starts playing with your metabolism and your hunger cravings, and you have a lot of other side effects. But I am going to just, a couple little dietary supplements, make sure I'm taking like a men's one a day. I had that for a while. I don't know for sure that it has a perfect collection of every ingredient like it's suggested does. Moringa is a big one I've taken for a long time. That helped out a lot. Vitamin C I don't have. I used to take it a lot. My dad would preach about some vitamin C for real. But I do have vitamin D and calcium. So I'm going to take those supplements, probably not religiously. I'm going to spread them out. I'm going to take a couple here, take a couple there, just so I know that my body is not completely deficient, and that I'm not neglecting and becoming like malnutritioned or something like that by just eating mostly meat. But the reality is, if I start feeling some kind of way, I'll worry about it. If I feel good, why am I changing anything? I think our body is the best thermometer. And if what you're doing is working, you don't need nothing. You don't need no ideas. You don't need no new solutions whatsoever. If you're amazing and everything is awesome, then, it sounds to me like you got it won. We don't have advices. I don't have advices going to fix that, But if you are struggling, or you do have some difficulties, moving, getting flexible, stretching out, good vitamins just to give yourself nice, healthy cells. And there's so many things, like the effects on your body and aging and your mental space, and there's just layers of it. And I can read it all pretty quick, and I don't have too much problem like soaking it all in. I'm terrible at trying to explain it. Terrible. I'm not that guy. So I hope it helps. I hope I didn't bounce around too much. I try to break down the question the best I could. Um, I would recommend vitamin C, vitamin D, calcium, and water because those are essential. Those are needed, and you can't really go wrong by having too much of those particular ones. But meat has like everything. It has all kinds of stuff in it. Um, if you want to go overboard, you can always take more. The quick and the short term, I've noticed for myself that a little bit of turmeric helps open up the joints a little. But the best thing you can really do is just stay moving. So it's helped me tremendously. Anyhow, I hope you all got some value out of this. I'm gonna try to put some links on everything. Um, I don't think I'm gonna do it on this particular video, but what I am gonna do though is I'll probably try to put this in a organized format so that way it's more readable by other people. And I'll probably cite like some of the articles that I found on there, like the Wikipedia stuff, and so you guys can click the links and then you can go do your own research and all that sort of thing. Again, if you have a question, if you have a concern, if you don't understand something, if you think I need to do something a little bit better, different, because I'm just trying to help, shoot me a message, reach out, comment, talk. Communication goes both ways. Let me know what's on your mind. What are you thinking? I got an early day tomorrow. I get to go work out with my son again. So I'm gonna call tonight. Hope this helps. I'll post all the links and everything the best I can, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. God bless.